When we take the court and represent Milwaukee and Wisconsin, we are expected to play at a high level, give maximum effort, and hold each other accountable. We hold ourselves to that standard, and in this moment, we are demanding the same from lawmakers and law enforcement.
Despite the overwhelming plea for change, there has been no action, so our focus today cannot be on basketball.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you, the Detroit Lions of the NFL have sat out of practice and the Toronto Raptors have discussed boycotts. Have you or the team had any discussions about any players going home or sitting out anything as a boycott or statement?
Our team has had lots of conversations and has a high level of concern and wants to continue to fight for racial justice, for social justice, for the end of excessive use of force by police. But I think it's best for our team conversations and what we're thinking and doing to stay private until if and when a player or myself decides something needs to be made public. But there's a lot of concern, there's a lot of conversation, there's a lot of frustration, but I also think our players want to find a way to fight for better, and there's lots of different ways to do that, and I think everything's under consideration.
Could I ask you in particular about George Hill? A lot of players, they love their job, but sometimes guys feel like they have a higher calling, and George Hill might be having some of those feelings based on what he told us. Have you just talked to him to see where his head's at, how he's doing?
Yeah, George and I have talked a lot, and those conversations are between myself and George, and he's a special human, and he has been and always will be.
Well, this tragic incident happens in the Bucks' own backyard. So in terms of even the thought of not playing a game, not playing a playoff game, my thoughts, Jim, regarding the Buck players, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? If not you, then who? If not now, then when? This is the opportunity. If you're going to make a serious stance on social injustice, on police brutality and police abuse, you just watched a young man get shot in the back. And again, we don't have all the facts. We don't know all the particulars, and those things have yet to come out. But just the video itself, for me, watching that Sunday night in the wee hours of the morning, Monday morning, watching that video of Jacob Blake go through what he went through, I mean, it was one of the most disturbing experiences of my life. And I've seen a lot. And I've seen a lot of videos like that. And I've seen a lot of that stuff over the years. And just that, I think at this point in time, having seen so much with all the attention on everything that's going on, that was as moving of an experience as I've had in my lifetime. And evidently for these players, they've been moved also to take this drastic step. This is not an easy step for guys to take, to not play the game that you love, to not give yourself a chance to continue your goal on your championship journey. This is a drastic step. But again, if not you, then who? If not now, then when?
Clearly, the players are not hermetically sealed from reality and from what is happening in the country. Another tweet by Adrian Wojnarowski. The Bucks players made this decision in the wake of the Jacob Blake shooting in Wisconsin, ultimately deciding that they would not leave the locker room for the start of Game 5 against Orlando. In Wisconsin, in the country, in the world, Marcus, people must start to pay attention to these statements and to these issues.
Well, and again, how many George Floyd's, Armand Arbery, how many of these situations do we have to witness? Breonna Taylor, how many of these situations do we have to go through until people realize how it's impacting, the negative impact that it's having on our society as a whole? You see what's going on in Kenosha right now. It's just, it's sad to see. Beyond sad. And then you got the shooting deaths that happened last, something needs to be done. It needs to be addressed in a forceful, aggressive, productive manner. And we can talk about voting out the politicians that don't make the police accountable and all that good stuff. But as you talked about, Jim, we've been protesting since the early '60s, and we've made incremental progress. And there has been a lot of progress in this country. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shortchanging that. But the things that happened to me as a young 16-year-old in Los Angeles in 1972 are happening and worse here in 2020. There's something wrong with that. There's just something that needs to be changed about that. And for the Buck players, this is their effort to try and initiate and be the catalyst for some of that change. And for that, I applaud them. I know there are a lot of people out there that don't agree with this and want to get into character assassination of the young man that was involved in the shooting, Jacob Blake, and all that. But he's still a human being. He didn't deserve to be shot in the back 7 times the way he was in front of his 3 kids. That's the bottom line for me. He didn't deserve that kind of treatment by the police that are supposed to be there to protect and to serve us.
When you talk about wanting change, all of us have to ask ourselves, what are we willing to give up? You can talk, you can tweet, you can protest, but what are you willing to give up until you see that change actually happen? And they have said, this is worth it. We are willing to sacrifice. The beauty of this country is the ability to stand up for what you believe in. Whether you believe or agree with what people are standing up for, you have to respect when people take a stance on something and don't just talk about it, but act on it. You have the ability to stand up for what you believe in this country. The Bucks are doing that right now.
Just go away.
Right here. Well, as you can see, we all thank you guys for taking it upon your time to stay here with us. We're sorry that it took a little bit more time, but we thought it would be best for us as a team to brainstorm a little bit, educate ourselves, and not rush into having raw emotion, giving you guys things like that. So on behalf of ourselves and our team, we're going to place a statement as a team today and go back and continue to educate ourselves and get better awareness of what's going on, and then speak to you guys later. So we'll come up with a statement now.
Our team statement, the past 4 months have shed a light on the ongoing racial injustices facing our African American community. Citizens around the country have used their voices and platforms to speak out against these wrongdoings. Over the last few days in our home state of Wisconsin, we've seen the horrendous video of Jacob Blake being shot in the back 7 times by a police officer in Kenosha, and the additional shooting of protesters. Despite the overwhelming plea for change, there has been no action, so our focus today cannot be on basketball.
When we take the court and represent Milwaukee and Wisconsin, we are expected to play at a high level, give maximum effort, and hold each other accountable. We hold ourselves to that standard, and in this moment, we are demanding the same from lawmakers and law enforcement. We are calling for justice for Jacob Blake and demand the officers be held accountable. For this to occur, it is imperative for the Wisconsin State Legislature to reconvene after months of inaction and take up meaningful measures to address issues of police accountability, brutality, and criminal justice reform. We encourage all citizens to educate themselves, take peaceful and responsible action, and remember to vote on November 3rd on the behalf of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Thank you.
You guys intend to finish the season?
Hey Wesley, first and foremost, just want to check in and how are you doing?
We're as good as can be right now. We're excited of the initiatives of everything going around right now. We're excited about the stand that the NBA has taken, along with multiple other sports teams, and we're excited that the movement that's being gained across our state. Obviously, this happened in our backyard, and it was a moment in which the world needed. I mean, what you saw on Wednesday was truly just humanity. When we got to the arena, you could see the visible anguish and hurt and pain and upset and confusion and frustration just on everybody's face. And then when Coach Ham had a moment, and it really just set everybody back a little bit into their chairs, like, it's not just me, it's not just me feeling this. This is everybody feeling this, When the Orlando Magic didn't accept the forfeit and stood in solidarity with us, and then find out that the whole NBA stood in solidarity with us, which created the postponement of the playoffs. It was incredible, and it was incredible to be a part of an organization, the NBA, the league, the union, to have owners, players, GMs, coaches, everybody in all organizations come together and be like, we have to do more. We have to do better. Obviously we know this is going to be a long, ongoing process, but we're in the trenches, and we're in this fight for the long haul.
Early on Robinson, show us what they're like. You gonna show them? That's a great turnaround time.
Ready? Let's go do our job, fellas. Now's the time to be more together on both ends of the floor, all right? Let's show more togetherness out here, all right? Let's have fun. Together on three. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Middleton driving on Vucevic, lay it up and good with the left hand.
Good. Wow, Giannis out of the Kumbo. Classic patented move by Giannis.
Hand off to Bledsoe. Lob to Giannis, caught it, slammed it. Bucks have a 2-for-1. Middleton takes it, hits it, and a foul out front. How about that? Baseline to the rim. No good, jam down. Brook Lopez. Giannis left corner, takes the corner three, it's up, got it.
Time runs out on Game 5. The Bucks advance to the Eastern Conference Semifinals, back-to-back seasons. As we mentioned earlier, first time since 86-87.
Giannis, I'd like to start with you. How did you feel watching other leagues, other teams follow your lead?
It's big. It's big. We made a powerful move. Decided not to play, decided to bring awareness, and just seeing other athletes around the world, other leagues doing the same thing. It says a lot about us, says a lot about our league, that it gives us the platform to speak up. And we have as I say, we have a big platform, and other leagues around the league going to follow us.
And Chris, you all ultimately made the decision to continue playing here in Orlando. Why did you decide to do that while still fighting for racial justice?
I think, the meeting we had that night, we made that decision not play. Just the information we got, it was a moment where we thought we could make more of a statement staying here and playing in front of the world instead of going home to our respective cities, our respective communities, doing it by ourselves. We thought together our voice would be much bigger and heard.
Bud, can you hear us?
Yes.
All right, questions for Coach?
Trying to end racial injustice and end racism and make this world a better place is still more important than anything we did today, and more important than us winning. The ability to do what they've done the last few days, along with the rest of the players in the NBA, the rest of the NBA. This has been a collective effort, and today our team was able to do something collectively and get a big win in the playoffs, which is not easy to close out a team. And that's what we expect of each other, but it's still hard to do.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, that's the second round. We got a great team going ahead to face. I want to give congrats to the Orlando Magic. They played extremely hard. They're a great team, but now we just got to lock in, focus, and we have a task ahead. So let's get it.